All right, now President Xi Jinping's visit to North Korea is the very first one by a Chinese president to North Korea since 2005. It's been 14 years since a Chinese president had in fact visited North Korea. Now, at a banquet that was hosted by the North Korean leader Kim Jong Un, Xi Jinping expressed solidarity with North Korea in building everlasting peace and also bringing prosperity for the region. He reminded the world of the traditional relationship that the two countries share, a relationship that Xi Jinping believes was forged by the leaders of the elder generations of China and North Korea. The two countries have also agreed on a political settlement of the nuclear issue in North Korea. Xi Jinping has applauded Kim Jong Un for improving the livelihoods of his people and has said that he's taken socialism to new heights in North Korea. Now, Kim Jong Un said that the visit, of course, opens a new and a splendid chapter in the relationship between the two countries. Now, Xi Jinping was also treated to a spectacular show by his host Kim Jong Un. The mass games, as they are called, include synchronized performances enacting North Korean history. Now, thousands of people, in fact, take part in it. The mass games are aimed at showing the strong relationship between China and North Korea. And this, of course, was a performance that Xi Jinping, the visiting Chinese president, was treated to in North Korea.
表达朝鲜人民对美好生活的向往，对传承发展中朝友谊的热切愿望，以及对热烈欢迎。夫人彭丽媛在金正恩和夫人李学主陪同下，来到体育场主席台。
So Beijing's bonhomie with North Korea, of course, comes at a time when both countries are locked in disputes with the United States. China is embroiled in a full-blown trade war, while the nuclear talks between North Korea and the United States have got a bit stalled. The President Xi Jinping may try leverage his influence over North Korea to try and bargain in the bitter trade war that his country is locked in with the United States when he meets with Donald Trump at the G20 summit in Japan next week. All right, now Sri Lanka is reportedly seeking a loan of nearly about $1 billion from China for energy and highways as the island is recovering from the 21st of April terror attacks. The talks are presently underway with China's Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank to raise the new loan. This is in addition to the $1.2 billion obtained from international agencies earlier this year. Now, Sri Lanka's former government had borrowed heavily to roll out ports, highways and railways. And all of this was investment that was made by China, increasingly reducing Sri Lanka into greater amounts of debt that Sri Lanka had to pay back to China. Now, several ambitious infrastructure projects, however, have ended up as white elephants and have left the country facing a mountain of debt, mainly to China. Unable to service its loans, the government of Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe has also leased a Chinese-built port at Hambantota to a Beijing company for $1.12 billion in 2017, and China will in fact administer this port for the next 99 years. Now, Sri Lanka is able to maintain economic stability, and it's finding it extremely hard. And despite the terror attack that, remember, had killed over 253 people at 3 churches and 3 luxury hotels. Now, the government, of course, expects tourism to dip by almost about 30% this year as a result of suicide bombings. Now, the government has begun subsidizing loans to hotels, which already have been suffering from a decline in foreign guests following last year's political crisis. The country, remember, has plunged into turmoil in October when President Maithripala Sirisena had sacked Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and had called for fresh elections. But the top court held that the president's actions were illegal and restored the status quo. But 3 international credit rating agencies downgraded the country's debt, making it more expensive to borrow abroad. The official figures show that Sri Lanka will have to repay a record $5.9 billion in foreign loans in the year 2019. Now, officials say that almost about 2/3 of it has already been repaid. Launched in 2013, China's Belt and Road Initiative aims, of course, to connect Asia, Africa and Europe through a series of infrastructure projects, including connecting through road and sea routes. Remember, several nations, including China's close ally Pakistan, have been facing a mounting debt due to China's ambition to build infrastructure projects in return for loans.